Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Main Street TV Morning Show. I am once again not Jennifer Ratcliffe, but I am joined by the news hound Jeremiah Schaefer and the man, the myth, the legend, Pete Wilson. How are you, gentlemen?
Well, you are so lucky, aren't you?
I know, right?
We are all lucky. We're here, right?
We are still here.
Right. Purveyors and conveyors of information.
Yes.
Very good.
So before we get into anything else, big news this morning. Oak Hill schools closed, kind of surprise last minute. Jeremiah, do we have any updates on that yet?
So we don't have any updates yet. The only information that we have received is that the Oak Hill Union Local School District has closed due to a safety concern. I have been in touch with Oak Hill Superintendent Jason Mantell. He has messaged me back and said that he will be giving me a call later today or at some point today.
Good deal.
So be watching, be listening to the radio. I'm sure we'll have an update on there at some point, and watch the telegramnews.com.
Yeah.
Okay. And the school was to be in session today. I think there's a waiver day where the students weren't in school later this week on Wednesday, so don't confuse that with this. But we noticed that on the Facebook post, which was the first information put out by the Oak Hill schools, it was actually very late last night, like 11:30 p.m. is the way it looked like to me. And of course, most people just found out this morning that had occurred. Jeremiah heard about it very early, and we got it out, on our media website, Facebook, etc. It also does affect the Oak Hill students who attend Buckeye Hills Career Center. So the busing or whatever was affected there, or Oak Hill did not want, part of their students to go to school, even though it was at the vocational school. So once again, as soon as we hear more details on that, on, why the schools were closed and what's going on, we will certainly let you know. But once again, all that we were told was, and all the public's being told at this point is, it's due to a safety-related issue.
And I will say, on a programming note, kind of related to this, the new Oak Hill Superintendent, Jason Mantell, is supposed to be our guest on the show tomorrow. That was already planned prior to this, so hopefully that still happens. Because again, we don't know what the safety concern is, but hopefully he will be here tomorrow and can maybe shed some light on this and other stuff going on in the school district.
Okay. All right. Well, very good.
Yep.
Well, guys, what the heck else is going on?
Okay, well, I'm going to turn it over to Jeremiah in just a second, because he was our main man at the Wellston Ohilco
Ohio Hill Country Festival.
with Ohilco being the acronym.
Yep.
So, if you ever know what an Ohilco is, it's an amalgamation of Ohio Hill Country Festival. So anyway, it occurred Wednesday through Saturday. Saturday was the big finale day. Red Thompson Jr. was there early. Jeremiah Shaver was on the back end, and Jeremiah, as he always does great coverage. Gave us some video coverage and some still pictures as well. So did Red. So we'll go through those right now. Jeremiah, take the baton.
Sure. So I got up there Saturday evening. We had the hometown parade. It lasted about 40 minutes or so.
I thought you were going to say 4 hours. I was
No,
going to say,
no.
oh my gosh.
No, not 4 hours. It was about 40 minutes or so, give or take. I was near the start of the parade this time on Pennsylvania Avenue. Did have a little bit of a drizzle, but it didn't last very long. It felt like it was well attended. There's a big crowd out on Pennsylvania Avenue where I was at watching the parade. And following that, you had Nashville Crush on the main stage. And then the evening closed out with the crowning of the 2023 Queen and Court. 2023.
What year is it?
It's 2022.
But they crowned the
2023 at the close of the festival.
Okay.
So these girls will start serving as of when they got crowned.
1 year from today?
And they'll start serving now through next year's festival.
Okay.
Yes. They're always
Gotcha.
like a year ahead. So
Gotcha.
the court that served through this festival was crowned at the end of last year's festival. So
Okay.
they're
And they
always-
were in the spotlight this festival,
Right.
and they hosted the Queen's Tea event that
Luncheon,
they did,
yeah.
and all. And now they have tossed the baton
right
to the new
to
royalty.
the new court. And they looked like they had a big crowd. I wasn't at the Queen Luncheon. I think Red maybe covered that. But based on the number of royalty that came through the parade, there was a big crowd for
Dylan,
that.
I think we have a photo from the Queen's Luncheon, don't we? Hey, Lindsay, how are you? I appreciate that. I hope I was made for something more than this, but I'll do what I can. Yeah, so these are the 2022 queens, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's that would be Queen, is it Chloe Wilbur?
Right in the middle
In
there.
the middle there. And then off to the
Man, what are in those empty green bottles they've been?
I'm guessing that's
That's
ski. It has to be ski in
That
Wellston.
is ski.
Oh,
there.
okay, that makes more sense.
And then you have Olivia Haggerty. She was the first attendant. She is on the right. And then,
Haley Goheen.
yes, Goheen is the second attendant there on the left.
Right.
But that's the ladies at the luncheon. But
Nice.
Overall,
So Red covered the luncheon.
He was
Is
at
that that a coincidence?
well,
Did he-
I assigned it to him. It didn't
Okay.
it didn't matter whether there was food involved or not.
All right.
Red would have been there, and he made his rounds. So as always,
So
he did the job.
I do have to ask this, Jeremiah, because I covered an event in MacArthur week before last, and I lost count of how many people asked me where Red was.
where's Red?
So while you were down there, when he wasn't down there, how many times did you have somebody ask you where Red was?
I didn't have anybody stop and ask where Red was.
Did it
Well,
happen
that's because
so many times?
They saw
to
him
me?
earlier.
They saw him earlier in the
right.
day. They knew where Red was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't have like a total. Did you have a Total Media shirt on?
I did, yeah.
All right.
I did.
think. Yeah.
I always
think-
try to wear that when I go out
Yeah.
to the festivals and fairs. and
I feel
stuff.
like that is the people see that and like, well, where's Red?
Where's Red? That's it. So I think that pretty much wrapped up the festival
Okay.
for Saturday. We do have a video that I put together, kind of recapping everything to give you guys a visual for those watching the show this morning. So,
Awesome.
if you'll-
Dylan, you got that video for us? Dylan's figuring stuff out, guys.
Is it the Isaac one?
it should be
No,
one
it's
labeled
a-
video there.
It's a video. It's not a photo.
It says video.
Yeah, it should say like Ohilco wrap up or something like that.
Should have been towards the
Let me
top of
come
your
look at it
list
for
there.
you, Dylan. It's that one right there. This is video.
Hello, I'm Jeremiah Shaver, multimedia journalist for The Telegram, bringing you guys a final report from up here at the 2022 Wellston Ohilco Festival. Let's go ahead and get right into it. The 2022 Wellston, Ohio Hill Country Festival, better known as the Ohilco Festival, wrapped up on Saturday, September 10th with Queen's Day presented by Adena Health Systems. As you can tell, there was a big crowd up at the festival on Saturday evening. Saturday evening, the festival featured the Ohio Hill Country Grand Finale Parade, musical entertainment by Nashville Crush on the VFW stage, and of course, the festivities wrapped up around 10:30 p.m. with the crowning of the 2023 Ohio Hill Country royalty. And we cannot forget all the rides available this year. The 2022 Wellston Ohilco Festival royalty are shown having a little fun with the 2023 Wellston Ohilco finalists prior to the announcement of the crowning.
Pictured are the 2023 Little Miss Wellston-Ahilco Festival royalty. In the center is Sophie Smith, who was named Queen. On the left is Kennedy Smith, who was named First Attendant. And on the right is Catherine Mannering, who was named Second Attendant. Shown here is the 2023 Junior Miss Wellston-Ahilco Festival royalty. Shown in the center is Emma Spradlin, who was named the Junior Miss Queen. On the left is Adeline Kuhn, who was named First Attendant. And on the right is Lily Swartz, who was named Second Attendant. Pictured here are your 2023 Miss Wellston-Ahilco Festival royalty. In the center there, that is Emily Scott, who was named Queen. On the left was Kaylin Bowman. She was named First Attendant. And on the right, that is Caitlin Bright. She was named Second Attendant.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourselves for the first time.
My name is Emily Scott, and I'm your 2023 Big Miss Ohilco Queen.
Hi, I'm Kylan Bowman. I'm your 2023 Big Miss Ohilco First Attendant.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Bright, and I'm your 2023 Big Miss Ohilco Second Attendant.
All right. Well, Jeremiah, thanks for that video. You were saying off the air how good the rides look this year.
Yeah, I think they had a new ride company up there
Yeah,
this year, and
they did.
it just felt like it filled out the festival there. All the rides were along Ohio Avenue there. They had the big Ferris wheel set up in the center of Ohio and First Street there in the intersection, and they had a lot of the food coming down First Street into Railroad Avenue, and then you had the stages there on Railroad Avenue, and it's just the way that they've they moved the festival around a couple years ago, but it just seemed like this year it just felt bigger and better, and just overall the crowd Saturday evening. I have pictures that you'll see in a future edition of the Telegram here. It just felt like I should have. Well, you saw in the video there. It just there was just people upon people. There Saturday evening after the parade.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking like the Apple Festival or any of these other big.
Yeah.
So they must really
kudos,
be going. Yeah, really.
Kudos to the
nice
Ohio Hilco Society for a great 2022 Wellston Ahilco Festival.
Right, it really came together well. And Jeremiah, you were telling me I was out of town Saturday. Not all that far away. I had rain where I was, and I asked about the rain in Wellston, and there was some, and that did not keep the people from coming out.
Yeah, they were still out. It was just kind of a drizzle, a little bit of a steady drizzle there towards the end when they were doing the crowning. But overall, it kind of held off, especially during the parade. It was just kind of a hit and miss, just like a light mist. I mean, I had my umbrellas and stuff with me just to kind of keep my equipment dry, but for the most part, nobody put umbrellas up while they were watching the parade.
Right.
So it was kind of my little area there with that.
Yeah, I wish we had the picture of your little umbrella set up.
Yeah, my last minute. I had a couple masks in the car, like paper mask, and I tore the elastic.
Used the little elastic.
I used the elastic from the mask to tie that umbrella up to my tripod. You can view that picture. It's on my Facebook page. But
so off topic, while we were watching that video, you got a press release from the Vinton County Sheriff's Office.
No, it's from the Jackson. It's from the Jackson Post of the Ohio State Highway Patrol. They sent out a press release on a fatal crash that occurred on State Route 93 in Vinton County. It occurred yesterday, Sunday, September 11th. It says that they responded to a one-vehicle crash on State Route 93 in Clinton Township in Vinton County.
That would be near Hamden.
The crash occurred at 3:30 p.m. and it says a Randy Christ,
I believe that's how you'd say that.
age 51 of Lancaster, was traveling north on State Route 93. He was driving a 2008 Mercury Marina. It says the vehicle he was operating across the center line went off the left side of State Route 93. Vehicle struck a driveway culvert, went airbound prior to rolling several times and coming to rest on its wheels. He was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected at the time of the crash.
Where's your seatbelt, guys?
Yeah, he was transported. There's been a lot of crashes on where people hasn't been wearing seatbelts here, like, and have been ejected. Yeah. He was transported by Vinton County EMS to Holzer Medical Center in Jackson, where he was pronounced deceased. And like we just said, the patrol reminds all motorists to wear their seatbelts each and every time and avoid driving distracted. And that's all the information that they have put out.
Wear your seatbelt.
Okay.
Jeremiah, thanks for sharing that.
Yep.
Do you have anything else for us before we let you get out of here?
I don't think I have anything else.
Yeah.
So we'll turn it over to Pete
All right.
here. And I know, like he said, Red was up at the Ahilco, so he has some Ahilco.
And
that
we'll
he
go
can
over a
talk
little
about
bit more on the
Red
Ahilco, and then
from Saturday
Then
afternoon.
we'll turn to the other news.
Other
The
news.
rest of the world did go on. We have some other information to
Yep.
report.
Very good.
All right. Well, thank you,
Thanks,
Jeremiah,
Jeremiah.
as always. Appreciate it. All right. Well, James, one of the things that happens at all the festivals, including the Ahilco, there's a lot of things where there's competitions,
Yes.
games, contests, displays, whatever.
Yes.
And we do have some of those results that we can pass along. And of
Okay.
course, we'll have them listed in the newspaper as well on the website. In the grand finale parade, which was about a 45-minute deal,
Okay.
there was several
Not 4
categories.
hours.
No, not 4 hours. In several categories of competition. In the float category, first place went to the Hocking County Fallen Heroes. That is a military float.
That has the names of all the military wounded and deceased.
Right, from
Yeah.
Hocking County. Right. That always attracts attention and gets applause on the
Yes.
parade routes. Second place went to Bundy Elementary. They have had a great reputation for outstanding floats. It's that in Ahilco Festival and the Apple Festival, award-winning floats. Second place this year at the Ahilco Festival, and third place went to the Grace Baptist Church, which is in Wellston. In the baton corps category, Eclipse was first, and the Show Dolls was second. And in the marching band category, the Christian Life Academy Band, that's under the direction of Paul Hogue, who lives here in Jackson, that was first place. Second place went to Clay High School, which is out of Scioto County. In the motorcycle and car show, the Black Diamond Masonic Lodge does this, and my guess is that they had a good turnout again. Greg Stevens won the Hector Preston Award.
I think we've got some pictures from the car show, Dylan.
Okay, Greg Stevens won the Hector Preston Award. If you can find that one, Dylan, there you go. That's a look at Mr. Stevens as well as his award-winning vehicle. And then on the People's Choice Award, the winner was well-known Wellston resident Tom Clark. And when you see the picture on this, it will jump out right at you because it's about as pink as you can get.
That's pretty.
A pink
pretty
pink
sweet.
jalopy. You can
pretty sweet
understand
ride.
why it won People's Choice.
Yeah.
It certainly attracted attention. Tom runs a mechanics business
he looks
there
like
in
a
Wellston.
mechanic.
Right, got the coveralls and everything. Was on Wellston City Council for quite some time. Served the city that way as well.
Looks like he
And
left his keys laying on top of it.
it was, there. Yeah, well, he's right there, so no one's going to get him. And then the other top award was let's see, that would be the.
Do we have it there, Dylan?
we had
Yeah,
the-
I think there's another car show
We
photo.
had the
Does
Hector
it have
Preston Award. Maybe there's not another one.
what is this one, Dylan?
It just says Hector.
Hector Preston. That's the Hector Preston. That's the one we showed you before. There was one other, but I don't have it
what
listed
was
here.
the third? What was the first photo you showed, Dylan? I think you showed them out of order.
I showed Mason.
The first car show.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, the Masonic Lodge Award. The Masonic
There you
Lodge
go.
Award was the other one.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't have that name, though, but that was the third major award at the car show, the Masonic Lodge Award. Also, Tammy Searless won the American Legion Post Raffle. That was a very valuable prize, 100 pounds of select beef. That's worth a lot of money these days. In the quilt show, Vicky Holzapple of Wellston won the Best of Show and the People's Choice with 2 different pieces. So she was very much in the spotlight there. And, of course, they do judge the booths there at the Ahilco Festival. And the winners were the Jackson County Health Department first place, Make Wellston Beautiful second place, and third place went to H&R Block. So
Congratulations to them.
Yep. It sounds like it was a wonderful participation.
Yeah.
And also, we'll turn to some other news now.
Okay.
A very nice event. We talked about this when we were on the air on Main Street TV on Friday, and that was the 9/11 Remembrance Program at Wyman Park in MacArthur. Here is one of the pictures from that. To the left, that group standing there looks like they're all in the same T-shirts. Those are MacArthur Fire Department members.
Okay.
They were one of the ones who volunteered their time to come out and do service work at the park. Wyman Park is the village-owned park in MacArthur. The man standing alone to the right is Tom McManus.
Okay.
He's the former school board president in Vinton County, no longer on the school board, but still very active in the community. He was the one who gave a few remarks when they dedicated a new 9/11 Remembrance Monument. And you can see it, that monument there, right at the base of the flagpole. We'll show you, not on TV today, but in the paper, we'll have a close-up of that monument. But it's a very nice granite monument. And according to the organizers, which is the Vinton County Cares Service Group, this is the first and only 9/11 Remembrance Monument that they know of in the county. That was one of the reasons they wanted to do it.
Okay.
Of course, Sunday was 9/11, the
Yes, it was.
21st anniversary of the attack.
You remembered.
Of the attack on America. Everybody knows where they were if they're at least 25 years old.
Yeah.
If you were 4, you probably remember where you were then. So that was a very nice event up there. It doubled, served two purposes: remember 9/11 and a tangible memorial now in place. That was done, but also it was a service day at the park through the Vinton County Cares Group, which is supported and kind of like under the umbrella of VISTA, which is a national service group where the idea is volunteers that serve the community in these different communities. And they did different work in the park. They installed some benches, they did some weeding, and they trimmed some bushes. All in all, they made the park look better. They had planned to work, James, about 5 hours. They ended up staying about 6.5 hours.
So even longer than that parade in Wellston.
Right. And I know that there was a little bit of rain during the day, and that did not hamper them. I think the United Way of Vinton County was nice enough and generous enough to
United Fund
to supply a lunch, a free lunch there
Nice.
for all the participants, and then anybody could come out. But the main partners were the Vinton County Cares, the organizer. Melissa Hammond was the spearhead there. Lisa Graves was the main representative from the park board. Jerry Ann Bentley from the Vinton County Health Department. They've done a lot of good work in the park. They've secured grants for park improvements. And then, of course, the MacArthur Fire Department supplied some manpower. And that's something that, I think that they wanted to support because of the 9/11, the connection with firefighters in New York City, many of whom died or were injured in that attack on America. So we're going to have some coverage in our Wednesday paper on this wonderful activity that they had in Vinton County. Bottom line, it was all volunteers making their community better.
Wonderful.
All right. So on the hard news side, James, we received a report from the Vinton County Sheriff's Office on Friday about a shooting that had occurred the previous weekend. And by the time that they reported this late on Friday afternoon, it was too late for us to get it in the paper. We do have it online and everything on our website and on Facebook. But it happened in Zaleski on September 3rd. There was a shooting, and they knew immediately who the suspect was. And it's that lady right there that you see up on the monitor now, Jennifer Norvell, age 34. She is of Ray. It was determined that she was the suspect in a shooting that occurred on John Street in the village of Zaleski. For those of you who don't know where Zaleski is, it's up on the northern end of the county, northeast end of the county, near Lake Hope State Park. Anyway, she was fled from the scene. They were able to capture her later in the week. They took her into custody on last Thursday, and she is now in the Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail awaiting the filing of charges. But she is considered to be the suspect in this shooting in Zaleski. At this point, the Vinton County Sheriff's Office is not releasing any more information. They did not release the name of the victim or the condition of the victim.
Okay.
So we don't know how serious it was, but a shooting nonetheless, and that is a story that we will be certainly following here as we wait for news to unfold there. All right, the Ohilco Festival in the books in Wellston.
Yeah.
We've got a week's break, and then we go right into the Apple Festival.
Dylan, can you maybe switch us back to the main camera now? There we go.
All right, on the Apple Festival, this is going to be such a big deal because, in the downtown area, so many people down there. And one of the issues for visitors is parking, of course. There is on-street parking, but all the on-street parking is lost because that's where the festival is.
Yeah.
So
what parking there is gets parked up pretty fast.
Right, and then I know that they a lot of times the nearby businesses allow their parking lots to be used by the Boy Scouts as a fundraiser. But anyway,
Churches, yeah.
parking is a big deal, and there is something that has happened. It really hasn't been illegal, but it's been allowed, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, and that is in the festival area, or just off the festival area where it's close to the festival. There's businesses and residences that block off the parking spaces by their establishments, their houses, their businesses,
Right.
because
They need somewhere to park.
they
when
need
get
somewhere to
home.
park, and they want somewhere
Yeah.
for their customers. Well, Jackson Police Chief Brett Hinch has given fair warning. He actually posted this last week. We had it in our paper on Saturday, that parking rules will be enforced. And in this case, that means, quote, taking a more active approach to streets being illegally blocked off in order to reserve parking on the streets during the time of the Apple Festival.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see, a sawhorse, you see cones or whatever, along on-street parking. I'm not talking about, on private property. That's people's own business.
Mm-hmm.
But along the streets or in a public parking area, if somebody is trying to reserve that spot for themselves, it's not going to be allowed by the Jackson Police Department this year.
So even if it is your home and you that is the only place you can park, you don't have
a
driveway, you can't block a spot for your own car in front of your own house.
No, you had better put your vehicle there and leave it there or
Yeah.
something. But of course, a lot of times in the case of the businesses and even residences, they come and go. They have
Mhm.
places to go. They come to and from work or whatever. So, from being around a long time, I know that this is something that's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. Chief Hinch said this: "You don't own it. You don't get to control who may park there. In years past, we've seen cones, chairs, ropes, recycling bins, sawhorses, all manner of ways to block parking spaces in front of houses and businesses with the idea that they can reserve the space for parking." Chief Hinch says this is illegal and this violation will be enforced. If there are street obstructions found, they will be impounded. Citations are possible. There is a section of city law that forbids this. Forbids anyone placing an obstruction in or upon a street without proper authority. They are actually guilty of a minor misdemeanor. We can't emphasize this enough ahead of time. I think if everybody knows what the rules are, knows what the law is, they just need to comply. But I can tell you, many times along the way, you have people by their houses or their businesses trying to block spaces, and it's just been
Hey, I don't
accepted
blame 'em.
before. It's been accepted before.
I don't blame them. I'd do it if I was in that situation.
Right, and
I don't
you-
want to have to park. I don't want to have to park a mile from my house.
Right. And also, please be mindful not to park in front of driveways.
Yeah, well,
Parking is
don't do
valuable.
that.
So don't park in an
Yeah.
illegal spot. The
Right.
same rules
Don't
apply.
block a hydrant or
Yellow
anything like that.
curb, fire hydrants, driveways. Do not block anybody in. The Apple Festival, is a great community activity, but you just have to, to put up with some inconveniences.
Mhm.
And that includes, the parking situation. So
It's true.
if you want to see specifically about this, you can check, our website. It was also in our Saturday paper, and we'll be posting this on Facebook as well. All right, James, we have to give you the COVID-19 update since
You
we
don't
had all
have
those
to.
crowds at the Ahilco Festival,
Yeah.
the football games, and now the Apple Festival coming up. It's kind of a good news, bad news situation. The cases are still high throughout the state and in Jackson and Vinton counties.
But we're not number one anymore.
We're not number one anymore.
We're number 8.
We're number 8.
We're
in per
number
capita
8.
cases.
We're number 8.
Relatively speaking, we're coming down, and I think in raw numbers, we're coming down
Okay.
as well. The last post from the Ohio Department of Health said that we were in 8th place instead of 1st. The week before, we were in 1st. We have in Jackson County 264 actual cases in the past 2 weeks, dating back from last Thursday. In Vinton County actually moved up from 34th to 11th, but they have 94 actual cases over the 2-week period dating back from last Thursday, 2 weeks backwards. The number of actual cases, the health department in Jackson County said 502 new cases in the 3-week period between August 14th and September 4th. Now, remember, I said 3 weeks, so that's 502 over 3 weeks, not over 1 week or even 2 weeks, but that's still an average of what? About 170 cases each week, if it's even each week, and it probably wasn't. In the Vinton County Health Department, they reported 23 active cases in the 1 week period from August 31st to September the 6th. And so I'm seeing also on the hospitalizations, it looks like that there was 3 hospitalizations and 1 new death. So once again, not a lot of serious cases as far as hospitalizations.
I mean,
we did have the one related death.
One's enough.
One is enough. It's still potentially dangerous. I'm guessing, and it's a guess, because you never know what the circumstances are, because each case is private as far as all that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly, it is more getting COVID is more serious if you have complicating health issues. A lot of times, it's kind of like pneumonia. You seem to get it when you're already compromised.
Yeah. And hey, if you haven't gotten vaccinated yet, do it. I mean, I had a run-in last week where I was exposed and had people that I'd been around test positive. Never tested positive myself, and I contributed to getting that vaccine.
Right.
Well, doing things to keep your body.
Well,
be as healthy as you can.
It is so
build up
strange.
those immune blockers.
It is so strange 1 year to the next, because there were a lot of cases coming out of the summer last year, and then everybody was worried about the schools getting back. You had restrictions, a lot of people wearing masks, and you have really a lot of cases now, and you see very little mask wearing, and you don't hear that much about vaccinations, getting vaccinations. The health people, federal, state, national, urge you to do it, or to get another vaccine or get your first vaccine. But there doesn't seem to be the same heightened concern and fear as there was, which is natural maybe because it was new last year. And it was also very true that there were more serious cases in the first and second runs of COVID-19 than now. But it's still out there, no doubt about it. The Jackson County Health Department and the Vinton County Health Department both have vaccine clinics. You just need to check their websites or Facebooks for those times. All right, in Vinton County, Red Thompson Jr. has been covering the Vinton County Commissioners, as he does almost every week. And he wanted to report that they want to have a project roundtable of public officials in Vinton County. They know that a lot of federal money is available and state money is available, including the $500,000 or the $500 million being available through the state through Governor DeWine's Appalachian program. And what they are wanting to do is to have a roundtable event of all the officials and maybe come up with one project that involves as many of those entities as possible, thinking that that would have a better chance for funding than if there were a lot of small ones, because there is a lot of money available. So this meeting, to my knowledge, had not been scheduled yet, but that is one strategy that they're talking about in Vinton County, having kind of fewer projects submitted for this money, where it would be something that would benefit the entire county or most of it. So we'll see what happens there. A lot of interest in this $500 million and all this federal money coming through from COVID-19 related relief still out there. Some of it has not been awarded. And, here's the opportunity to maybe get some things done locally and in the county and in the region that normally would not be possible. A lot of needs. All right. In last Saturday's paper, we talked about this before, but we had a big feature on Aaron Daly.
Yeah, I think we got a picture of Aaron Dillon.
We do.
There's
Aaron. Everybody knows Aaron. She was 4-H educator, agent for 18
years.
Right. Believe me, I've been around a long time, and a 4-H agent, it was kind of like almost a revolving door type thing, 1 to 3 years, and they were off to a new place or they wanted to do something else. Well, Erin stayed 18 years. She's still around, still lives in the Jackson area with her family. She will remain in the Jackson area with her family. She's just down the road in Gallia County doing the same job.
Yeah.
And we know how well she's thought of, how hard she worked when she was here in Jackson County, still cares very much about Jackson County. So that story was on the front page of our Saturday paper. It's online as well. a link through Facebook. So we invite you to take a look at that. She gave Jeremiah Shaver a very nice interview about her thoughts. It wasn't all a bed of roses either. Not only when she started, she walked right into a funding situation where there wasn't enough money. They had to do local fundraisers in order just to have the 4-H program. They didn't have as many people working in the office as they did before because of funding. They lost the ag agent, which, they kind of worked together. And finally now, with more money coming in and more county level support, they not only have, the full-time 4-H agent, which they never lost, but now they have the full-time ag agent, and I believe they have more office help as well. And the new 4-H educator who's been hired here in Jackson County, her name is Maddie Allman. She is from nearby Vinton County.
Yeah.
So a couple of local connections there.
I believe
working in
she
Jackson
will
County.
be here on the show one day this week too, I believe.
All right. Well, that is wonderful. We will have a story on her as well, an in-depth story on her where, she talks about her background in 4-H, which of course some of that was in Vinton County, and how she feels about taking over the Jackson County 4-H agent job. About the best thing you can do to take it over right now. You've got through the fair and through the 4-H season, so you have a chance to get your feet on the ground and plan for all the things that happen in the warm weather months. Next year, they'll start, trying to build the 4-H program, recruiting new members, getting ready for all those summer camps, and of course, the Jackson County Fair. All right, this will be a very busy meetings week, James.
Yeah.
Wellston School Board meets tonight. The Jackson City Council meets tonight. The Jackson School Board meets tomorrow night. The Jackson County Commissioners and the Vinton County Commissioners meet tomorrow. I guess one of the things we'll be looking forward to will be on the Jackson School Board side. They are expected to name a new school board member at Tuesday's meeting.
Okay.
Remember, Robert Bob Kite resigned due to health reasons from his seat in the middle of a term just within the last month. And so the way the law works, it's not an election. The school board gets to appoint the person to serve through the unexpired term. And then that person, if he or she wants to run again through the full term, they would have their name would be on the ballot. So
when does that term expire?
It should be the end of 2024.
Okay, so that's quite a while.
Right, exactly. The end of 2024. No, let me see. The end of 2023.
That's
because
not as long.
The seat would come up in 2023. It's
Okay.
a 4-year term. We know there were 12 people who applied for the job, and there was 2 special board meetings over the Labor Day weekend where the board members, the current board members, the other 4 current board members had a chance to discuss the applicants, and then also I think they interviewed some of the top ones. It was kind of almost like a job interview, it sounds like.
Sure.
And they came to a conclusion, but they stopped short of taking formal action.
Okay.
And they have a regular board meeting anyway on Tuesday evening, and that is when they are expected to pick that person and make that news public. All right. We also want to tell you about, on the farm side, a couple of real big events that occurred very recently. There was the Farm Bureau, the Jackson Vinton Farm Bureau annual banquet. It was held at Parks Edge Event Center. And we had that story in our Saturday paper.
I think we've got a couple photos
We
of that,
do.
Dylan.
We do, exactly.
No, I don't think that's the right one. I believe it says VCFB. You can go ahead, Pete. He'll find it.
All right. Yeah, that's close, but that's another agriculture-related event that we'll get to in just a minute. But at the Farm Bureau, they have an annual meeting. There we go, at the Parks Edge Event Center. And a couple of things there. That is Kim Harless, who is the senior organizational director for the Jackson Vinton Farm Bureau, also well known in the community for other things, including being a member of the Board of Education. But she kind of ran the meeting. They did some awards. They did some recognitions. They reviewed what they did for the year. Always a very nice event. Red Thompson Jr. was there to cover it. And one of the nice things they did, there is always a Jackson Soil and Water Conservation District banquet that's usually held in October. Of course, it's been knocked out by COVID the last couple years. I don't think they're going to do a banquet this year because Danny Barger, who we've had on TV before, he is the district conservationist. There you see him on the right picture.
Bottom right, yeah.
He he presented one of the Conservation District's major annual awards to C.J. Jenkins, the Cooperator of the Year Award. And you can see that recognition that was at the Farm Bureau banquet, the Farm Bureau annual meeting. CJ was recognized for cooperating with the Soil and Water Conservation District on employing and executing conservation practices. And they really try to work with the farmers and landowners on how to best use the land, conserve the land, build up the soil. That's what they do, kind of behind the scenes, but very active, certainly in the farming community. So we had that coverage in our Saturday paper. And then coming up in our Wednesday paper, we hope to have coverage of the Farm City Field Day. That is done by the Jackson County Farmers Club, and this is a picture from the Jackson County Farmers Club, and that is our new ag agent in Jackson County, Josh Winters, talking to a couple of youngsters who was at the Farm City Field Day. The Farm City Field Day this year was a little different. It was held last Thursday evening, and it involved 3 different locations. The Beerup Farm, the Jolly Farm, and Rumpke and the Rumpke landfill site, all in Milton Township or Washington Township, I think, there on the northern end of the county. And this is a scene from one of those locations. You can see pretty good attendance there. The concept of Jackson County Farmers Club and their Farm City Field Day is it gives a chance for the Farmers Club, the agricultural community, to have kind of a social/educational event, kind of a coming out where they can all get together. They can learn from each other. They take tours of these sites. They see how the host farmers do business, how they make their business work. So, it's kind of a networking thing. But also the idea is that folks from the city, non-farmers and public officials, can attend so they can learn firsthand about farms and how they work right here in Jackson County. It goes way back, I believe, they've been doing it 61 years.
Wow.
So it's a real big event. They end it with a roast beef dinner.
Okay.
And the roast beef is cooked overnight there, so it's fresh.
Slow.
It's fresh and tender. That's how you do it to make it the best.
And you mentioned Josh Winters. He will be our guest on the show on Friday, September 30th.
Okay. All right. Okay. And of course, every week,
switches
James,
back to the camera, Dylan.
Every week, the Ohio Department of Transportation puts out updates on construction projects and how they affect traffic in our local counties. And in Jackson County, it's very busy. You can see some of the activity, some of the cones along the way, some of the sawhorses out. The state is about ready to start a major paving project that will affect most of State Route 93 in Jackson. And when you're talking State Route 93 in Jackson, you're talking from one end to the other.
Pretty much the whole thing.
Right. Morton Street, where it comes in from Colton, all the way out to the 32 interchange there, past the downtown area, and all the way through most of the commercial area, all the way to State Route 32. They did the part from State Route 32 interchange out to south towards and east towards Franklin Valley Road and 4 Mile Road last year. So this is the bigger leg of it, and that should start anytime. It already has started the preliminary work. The city has done work all summer on curb replacement and handicap accessibility ramps and all like that. Some of that may still be going on, but they are supposed to pave very soon. I know they won't be paving next week during the Apple Festival there, but they can pave around it. I don't know whether they'll beat the Apple Festival this week or not. I don't think so. I think that will have to come after the Apple Festival. I know you don't want 93 closed during the Apple Festival. But anyway, there's lots of other projects there as well. Also, the city of Wellston has announced that mosquito spraying will take place on September the 14th. That's during the evening hours from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. The Ohio Pest Control Incorporated will be doing this. Anyone with respiratory problems should consider closing their windows and shutting off any window, unit, air conditioners until the fog has dissipated. I think this is going to be in what they consider the problem areas. They were not listed what they were, but it could be in multiple areas of the city that they will be doing this fogging to get rid of mosquitoes. If rain occurs and they cannot do it, because if there's rain, it's not as effective, they will put it off a week and do it on September 21st, one week later instead. All right, another big event coming up this weekend,
Yeah.
I know, is the Vinton County Air Show.
Santa Claus is going to be skydiving in again.
Right, and this is a big event for the Vinton County Pilots and Boosters Association. Once again, it serves two purposes that are both worth mentioning. First of all is the entertainment value. They call it the largest free air show in Ohio.
Yep.
And this is the smallest county almost in Ohio, so that's an accomplishment.
And by free, they mean it costs $10 to park.
But you got to park. It's free to get in, but $10 to park. That's,
And by free, they mean it costs $10.
that's the sidebar. But when you say $10 to park, it's not $10 a head.
It's
$10
per
a
car.
vehicle. So pack them in there.
Yeah.
I
Clown
do
cars.
not advise putting people in the trunk, but you got these SUVs and all, and you can get a lot of people in, for that $10 admission.
Yeah.
They also have what I understand is about the best barbecue chicken that you'll get. It's made on site there by the MacArthur Eagles, and so. But some of the events that will be at the air show this year, this is done by the Vinton County Pilots and Boosters Association. Some of the events will be the Emerson Stewart, Rod Lasarda, and Brett Hunter. They will be doing aviation stunts as pilots. There'll be a flying lawnmower flown by Roger Barnes. There will be a radio-controlled aircraft, and there will be the Screaming Chicken skydiving team. So there'll be some skydiving as well. And as you said, Santa Claus will also be jumping in. I think he'll have some pre-Christmas treats for the kiddies.
And we will have Nick Rupert on the show this Friday, September 16th, to give us even more details on it.
Right. And the air show starts at 1 p.m. And it is at the Vinton County Airport, which, if you're not familiar, it is about 6 miles north of MacArthur. In this case, Airport Road, which is the main access off 93, it'll close at 1 p.m. once everybody's in. Access to the airport can also be made from State Route 328 on the eastern side. But at 1 p.m., they will close Airport Road to traffic. You won't be able to get through until after the air show. The air show will begin at 1 p.m. Everybody is invited. And, I said there were two reasons to have the air show. The second is fundraiser. It takes money to run the airport. There isn't a lot of government money locally that is available for that. So a private group, the Vinton County Pilots and Boosters Association, working in conjunction and cooperation with the Vinton County Commissioners, they kind of run the airport. And they do the air show as a big fundraiser.
Yeah.
That's where that parking money
That's where
goes
that $10
to.
goes.
Right, exactly. So it goes to a good cause. And, once again,
So is the dinner included, or is that an extra
that is an
donation?
extra thing. You don't have to eat the chicken, but it's there. I don't know what it costs, but I have heard it bragged up and down many times. And my guess is Nick Rupert can testify firsthand on that as well.
I think you're right.
All right. Also this weekend, Bryce Wertz and the Oak Hill Marching Oaks will be busy because they will be hosting and participating in the annual Oak Hill Band Show. It is the 17th annual Oak Hill Band Show. It's been going for a while. There is the current edition of the Marching Oaks. It will be at 7 p.m. at Davies Stadium on the Oak Hill High School campus. The gates will open at 5:30 p.m. In addition to the Marching Oaks, there will be visiting high school bands from Jackson, Vinton County, Waverly, Wheelersburg, Piketon, Unioto, Minford, Paint Valley, Clay, and Federal Hocking. Talk about a night of band entertainment. Always love these band shows that go on because, the band gets great exposure at football games, but it's like,
they don't get to be the star of the show.
Yeah, they're in the spotlight. It's all about them. Also, it serves as a fundraiser for the band. Pre-sale tickets are now on sale for the Oak Hill Band Show. $8 for adults, $5 for students. They can be ordered online through Friday, September 16th. That's the day before the band show. They're available now at oakhillstadium.ludus.com. So just go to the Oak Hill School's website. I'm sure you can link up. All tickets at the gate will cost $10, so there is an advantage to getting tickets in advance. But there's plenty of room there. I've covered the Oak Hill Band Show before, and I tell you what, they do fill up the home bleachers there.
I bet.
All right. Also this weekend, does it ever end? This is open to the public too. There's going to be a retirement celebration for the Reverend Bob Davis.
Okay.
Bob, this is going to be at the Family Life Center of the Christ United Methodist Church and it will be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And Bob Davis deserves this reception. He has been the director of Jackson Area Ministries for 45 years.
Wow.
Bob is 90 years old plus.
Wow.
And he basically took on the Jackson Area Ministries job after he retired from pastoring. He was a pastor before at one of the local churches. And instead of just retiring, he did this. I know that a lot of what he did was volunteer. I don't know whether it all was, but a lot of it was volunteer. And a lot of folks really feel beholden to what the Reverend Bob Davis did. To the general public, a lot of it behind the scenes. You know, they do a vegetable gardening seed program to allow people, particularly income challenged people, to be able to raise their own food. You know, that makes you feel better about yourself if you do something like that. Helps them with their food insecurities. And a lot of other things that the Jackson Area Ministries did, not just in Jackson County, but through the whole southeastern Ohio region. That's going to be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. I believe there's going to be a special program where there's going to be tributes given verbally, orally, about Reverend Davis at 2:30 p.m.
Okay.
This is not just for Jam people. This is for anybody in the community who wants to come. That's why they're having it at the Family Life Center. And Alex Shope did an interview with the Reverend Bob Davis, and also he talked to, he had communication with a couple people who know Reverend Bob Davis real well. We hope to have that story in one of our 2 papers this week, a nice feature on the Reverend Bob Davis. And the public, our readership, needs to know just what this man has done for the community. Also, we're going to have some coverage, we hope, in our Wednesday paper about the Apple Festival Invitational Exhibit.
Yeah.
It opened last Thursday at the
did.
Marquette Cultural Arts Center. And James, you probably know a lot more about it than I do, but I do know that it involves a lot of local and area artists. It was by invitation only, and it involves a wide variety of art. Do you know, are there going to be special hours during the Apple Festival that you know of?
I do not know, but I can try to find that out, and I will report
Maybe
back.
let them know tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'd like to know that too. Normally, they have, of course, they always have regular hours to see the displays in the Marquette Gallery. But on the Apple Festival, because it's right there in the middle of the festival, they try to open up other days and other hours so the public can come in and see the art.
Yeah.
So
I will inquire about that tonight.
Right. And it's always free.
is.
It's free admission there to see all those pieces of art. All right. Speaking of the Jackson Apple Festival, the Jackson Apple Festival and the group that organizes it, JAFFE, the Jackson Area Festivals and Events Organization, they want to let the public know that pre-sale ride passes are on sale. They've been on sale for some time, but we're getting pretty close to the festival. So if you want to ride the rides, or you want your child to ride the rides, your grandchild to ride the rides, it's much cheaper with the pre-sale ride passes. They cost $10 each, and they provide a major savings over buying a ticket for a ride, each ride that you may go on. They're good all day, and they can be purchased at the following businesses: Southern Ohio Smiles, Virgil Hamilton Nationwide Insurance, U Stewart, Elizabeth Flowers and Gifts, Jones Stevenson Insurance, Nana's House, Apple City Artisans, Ohio Valley Bank, Brodican Sporting Goods, that's in Wellston, and you can also get them from Jackson Area Festivals and Events members.
Okay.
So that's pre-sale ride passes, $10. I believe they're good for that day only, but you can ride all day.
All day.
For the same price, $10, and it will cost you more if you do a la carte one ride at a time.
All right.
All right, another event. I told you about this, but we're gonna remind you. The Vinton County Historical and Genealogical Society will have its open house at Alice's house on 207 Sugar Street in MacArthur. That will be this Friday and Saturday, September 15th and 16th. No, it's Thursday and Friday. Yeah, September 15th and 16th, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. This is just an extra opportunity beyond regular hours to see that period house. When we say period house, it is an old house from the Victorian side, late 1800s, and many of the furnishings and items on display are from yesteryear.
I'd never heard of this before. I looked it up online. It's pretty neat. I think 1836, I think. That's when it said it was built.
It goes way back before Vinton County was even officially a county.
Wow.
So that is once again open to the public as well, and it is free. All right. Also, the Harvest Through Our Heart Dinner. This is another good cause. The Harvest Through Our Heart Dinner and auction is set for Monday after the Apple Festival. That would be September the 26th. It will be at the Family Life Center. It will start At 6 p.m. With a dinner, there'll be a matchbox raffle and a live auction. Ed Henderson will do the auctioning. For a dinner and to participate in the auction, it's $20 per person and a table of 6 for $100 if you want to go that way. Tickets may be purchased at the Village Haircutters. Also, all proceeds will benefit heart and cancer patients in Jackson County. I know that this goes back, the Jackson County Heart Support Group was formed when it felt like that the money it would collect would help directly local patients.
Okay.
They felt that when the Heart Fund, a national charity, nothing wrong with it now, but a lot of the money went outside, and then they decided what came back inside. The Heart Support Group was formed to help heart and now cancer patients as well, locally and directly. Every cent goes to these people who are in need.
All right.
All right. We also want to wish our former colleague, John Pelletier, the very best. John, can you believe it? He worked all those years and, quote, retired.
Yeah.
Of course, he's active as ever in the community, and now he's taken on a sidelight.
Yep.
He is the newest member of the sales staff of Donna Summers Realty. Can you believe that?
I can believe it.
Right. Well, talk about a person to represent your company and be a salesman. Right. Can there be anybody better than John?
Yeah, he's going to do great at that.
Especially in the Wellston area. He was up there during the Ohilco Society doing most of the announcing again. And so
we kind of teased him a little bit about it last, I guess it was Tuesday when he was in on the show. I said, John, you were just here last week and you were complaining about being all busy. And now it comes out you've got this other job. And he's like, well, to be a realtor, you have to pass a test. And I hadn't taken the test yet. I wasn't 100% sure that I was going to be able to pass it.
Okay, well, I can understand if he had problems. If he had problems, because I tell you what, there must be a lot of crammed into his brain because he does so much.
True that.
But just a real community-minded person. I know Donna Summers of Donna Summers Realty, just thrilled to have John there. And I know a lot of potential buyers and sellers would be very comfortable dealing with John.
I believe it.
All right. Well, we will go to sports.
Friday night football.
And James, we want to thank you for helping the Telegram out and being on hand to help us cover the Jackson Western Brown game. Here is the scoreboard.
What a game
Friday
that
night.
was.
It was. The Ironmen did win, a little bit of an upset, I think, 41-35 over highly touted Western Brown and their All-American quarterback, Drew Novak.
Yeah, I was kind of joking. He threw a couple interceptions, and I was kind of jokingly saying, like, oh, the kid's not that impressive. And then he just 60-yard touch, like 3 in a row.
Yeah, three long touchdown plays. He did have 2 interceptions and a fumble. But, yesterday the Bengals had a bad game.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow had 4 interceptions. It happens to the best of you.
It's true.
And I heard some commentators after the Bengals game say that Tom Brady had 4 interceptions before.
Well,
so it happens.
If
you're playing against pros too.
If you look at like the quarterbacks that have like the most interceptions of all time, it's like the best quarterbacks. It's like Dan Marino, Brett Favre, Tom Brady. Like those are the guys that have thrown the most interceptions because they've thrown the most passes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well,
what happens?
The guys on the other side of the line are trying too.
Yep, that's true.
So, but in that game, we'll do that first. The Jackson over Western Brown. That made Jackson 2-2. Everybody who is an Ironman fan knows what the script has been. 2 heartbreaking losses to 2 very good teams. And in Western Brown, we thought our broadcast crew did. Western Brown may be the best of the 4 teams we play. That's saying something. And they have Mr. Novak at quarterback. But the Ironmen won that game late. They turned to their running game late in the game, was able to score the go-ahead touchdown. But Western Brown had 6 minutes to go, and Mr. Novak had about 60 yards to go. And the defense made a key stop at the 32-yard line. He tried to run for a first down when they needed 4 yards. He got 3.5. And so Jackson got the ball. The game still wasn't over, but they were able to run the ball and run out the clock.
Yep.
I'm not sure I've ever seen a happier coach and a happier team after that game. Talk about getting the weight of the world off their shoulders.
And we have that the coach's post-game interview on the WKOV Facebook page if anybody wants to check that out.
All right. Well, Coach Hall always is very gracious to come up and talk with our broadcast crew, no matter what happens, win or lose, happiness or heartbreak. And I know he gave a good interview there. And so that's worth a listen, especially with what the outcome was. Other scores, the Vinton County Vikings won their 2nd game in a row. They defeated the Meigs Marauders at home 42-6. That's the second impressive win for the Vikings and coach TJ Carper. So it looks like they've found themselves and they got their momentum going. They're 2-2 now. We had coverage from there. We've got pictures coming from Red Thompson Jr. there. That was a big win for the Vikings. On the loss side, the Oak Hill Oaks lost to Soda Northwest 19-7. That game was on the road. The Oaks are now 1-3, and the Wellston Golden Rockets had to go on the road to play a very good team in Soda County, Portsmouth West. They lost that game 49-7.
Tough season so far for Wellston.
It is, but remember, it's a young team, and of course, a couple coaching changes late in the game makes it very challenging. But, those kids, I'm sure, are doing their best.
One other score that caught my eye of local interest, Alexander whooped Athens 30-0. Big rivalry game down in Athens County.
Right. That was a little surprising. You know, Athens is one of the larger schools in the TVC Ohio. Alexander, one of the smallest. And so for Alexander to win by that score, I mean, it was definitely an attention getter as well there. But this coming week, James, we'll have all of our local teams in action again. Jackson will be traveling to Wheelersburg, and guess what? That is another tough assignment. Wheelersburg has only lost one game, and that was to Ironton. And their coach was quoted after the game saying he thought Wheelersburg was better than Ironton. They just didn't beat them. So we'll see what happens down there.
Crazy.
The Vikings will go to Athens, by the way, for their next game on Friday. Oak Hill will be at home against Nelsonville York in a non-league game.
Okay.
And the Wellston Golden Rockets will be back home, and they'll be playing that Albany Alexander team.
It's going to be another tough week for the Golden Rockets, I'm afraid.
It'll be a challenge for sure. So we will see
a titanic struggle, as Marty Brenneman would say.
It usually is. So these games usually are entertaining, but someone's always got to win. Somebody's always got to lose. But no matter what, Jackson County Broadcasting will be there to give you live coverage. The Telegram writers will follow that up with more in-depth coverage with our game write-ups.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, very good.
Well, thank you, Pete.
We made it through again.
We made it through.
We did it. Somehow we went more than a week without Jennifer. How did we do that?
I don't know.
I'm glad she's coming back.
I'm glad she's coming back. I hope she's coming back.
I hope she's not having too good of a time.
I hope she's not having too good of a time. She stole my idea and went down to North Carolina for
Is that what she did? All right. Well, good for her. She deserved it.
Yes, she did. Well, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Pete Wilson and Jeremiah Schaefer for coming in here and sharing all the news that's fit to print. Thanks to Dylan for pushing the buttons today. And Jennifer will be back tomorrow with, hopefully, Oak Hill Superintendent Jason Mantell. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.
Have a great day.